Last time we spoke a little bit, you said this person you were talking to and having them as a mentor in that role, you said, she asked me, why? She asked me, why do you want to do this? Or, why are you heading in this direction? Or, to truly sort of have you come up with the answers and you figuring out, do I really want to be going in this direction? Because so often it's sort of a norm, you play tennis, now go into coaching, then go to college, and then get a real job. And so within the without, and it almost looks like it's not a norm to do something within tennis and the coaching role and the leadership roles within the tennis world. And I get that as well as a male coach. I'm often getting asked, is this your career? Like, is this what you do for a living? And it's like, yes, there's so many opportunities, for males and females within the tennis world, so much. But if you want to elaborate a little more on that sort of relationship, or how do you take that initiative to find that right mentor? Because I think that's so important for girls at any stage, females, at any stage.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. It's a great question. Right. But, and I think that's like part of the gap that we're talking here is like, how do we need to start somewhere. And
where does someone go? Yes, yeah.
And I don't know where would someone go, For me, it would be like that round table. My vision after I sat on that round table, I'm like, I need to create that for tennis, because that's like the foundation of just connecting, and then from there you don't know where things can go. But I think because we don't even know. I can't tell you as a female who's been in this sport, who's been with Tennis BC for 10 years, how many female coaches there are and who they are.
Right.
I can tell you of who's in BC. I can tell you who I see at nationals. I can tell you about the female leaders at Tennis Canada that I work with. But I outside of potentially going to a TPA coaching conference, I don't know who they are, because we don't have anything formed where I think, and it's different because I look at the TPA and I look at different industries like the coaching, the tennis professionals, and you see all these workshops that are on it, but it was like it's a bunch of like really strong tennis directors who've pulled each other in to create a network, but they know who they are to start with, and then they go where, like I know Denise in Saskatchewan, let's say, out of like,
of course, you know the people that you've connected with.
Yeah.
So would you say there's an opportunity here when someone is listening to this conversation or some of the input that you've had to reach out to you potentially and create some sort of slowly create a network of increasing numbers of females across the country?
100%.
Yeah.
And I would say like any female coach or any female who's looking to get into coaching or has questions about it, like I'm open to any conversation to have about it, like because there's been a lot of positives too. Like I can sit here and go of all the challenges that I've faced, but
please tell me some of the positives.
Because I'm like, we're so good at like going like this, but
I feel like this could be like a whole day and an evening, like we talked about earlier. Multiple days. But I mean, you've had so much experience within this, and it's a whole world that I never really thought of. Like that mentorship sort of, it happens informally, like you said, often at clubs or with parents, I guess, are your first mentors in your life, and then you go from there. But I think it's really nice for people to see that there's something more formal that they can engage in and develop, and that there are people that want to help you, and that reach out to so and so, and they'll get back to you. They'll respond, and if they can't or don't have time, hopefully they'll connect you with someone else.
Yeah. And one thing I always think to myself, I'm like, if somebody doesn't reach back, then they weren't right for you.
Right.
Like it's okay. It's okay. And it's so hard to not take it personal, especially in the beginning. But it's like, what? Like next, no problem. Like a lot of times we'll apply for a job, and you're not going to get everything you apply for. Like this is in every aspect of life.
Good. And then there's others that just come your way. And you go, okay, yes, green light.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, like, I didn't have a traditional route in coaching or into my position, and I went to university, came back, Finished my degree at UBC, started managing at UBC, coaching a bit at UBC. So I got into the admin piece, coaching bit, admin coaching. One thing I knew for sure is I never wanted to coach more than 20 to 25 hours a week. I am a high energy person, and I love being engaged. So when I'm disconnected, like, it drains me.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a disservice to whoever I'm on court with.
Yes.
So I'm like, to truly, for me, I knew that about myself. To truly love what I'm doing, this is my limit. And so I always stuck with that. And then within my job, it's like I said first, I was community first, and then I'm a director of high performance, and I got into my director of high performance role before I had my coach 2 or around my coach 2. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not qualified enough for this job, because I had, like, how can I have the credibility from these tennis directors who are coach 3s, CP3s, when I'm not, I haven't lived and experienced what they have. So that was an additional motivation to constantly be growing and learning. Like, it's something I want to do anyways as a person, but like, so I did my coach 2 without working at a club. And it came with its own challenges, but some of the positives that came out of that, and MF will watch this for sure, is, you know, when I was doing my coach 2, I was going through a really hard time in my job. And I'll say I was on a working termination, transitioning in my organization right before I went my coach 2, and there she was, like, to hold me when I was bawling my eyes out. You know, like, there's the vulnerability at its like.
Right,
and care, and care, and what I really appreciated about the community and the people I was with in my coach 2 and MF and Ari and Hatem, like, you know, when I was there, is that people genuinely cared. Like, people who were in my coach 2, like, it's a community, and when you're in it, it's like people do want to support you in it. Like, no one really wants to see you not succeed in there. So like when I was in that, like I that's the moment I think of. Like, when I think of MF, I'm like, she's like, you know, and I love the way she's
in Tennis Canada, and there she was, you know, supporting you,
you know, she would be like, I don't know if I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, because it was like, mentally my confidence was like so low. I'm like, not sure what I'm doing. Do I stay in this? I'm like, I'm not going to be great at this. Like, every negative self-talk that you can possibly have, I'm having. Yeah, I'm so out of my comfort zone in Toronto for my coach 2.
Right.
Like,
right.
So to get through that, having people like MF was there at the time, and, you know, I think Sev was there at the time, and having them just be there to, like, you know, I remember like the calls I make when I'm crying to Sev, and she's like, oh boy.
Yes.
Just take a deep, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. But that's what you kind of need. And to me, that showed me, from my experiences with not just females, but other people who've been instrumental into where I'm at right now, I've learned something from all of them. And I've learned how I want to become a great leader and mentor to someone else. Like, what they did that really impacted me. And it was like, a lot of it does come to the care. The care, and I feel like I've said that so much.
No, but it makes so much sense, because ultimately you take all of that tennis knowledge and experience and roles, and, you know, whether someone's a director or what leader, doesn't matter. Like, it ultimately comes to having someone that can hear you out and show you that care, isn't it?
Because we're people first. Right. It's like, it's still about the person in front of you, and if you find someone, and a lot of us are in this profession because we genuinely want to help the person across the net be better. Exactly. People get better at whatever their craft or something they love is. So it's like, I'm very grateful for everything that I've learned from them. And also through it, the challenges that I faced. Like, we've talked a lot about challenges, but really, like, the fact that I feel like I'm so far, I've grown so much over the last 20 years, that just gives me confidence to go, like, okay, like, right now I sit here and, like, there's nothing I can't accomplish. And
100%, of course.
and the number one question is, what is it I want to do next, right? Like $1 million question.
Oh,
But right
yeah.
now,
I
go
mean,
to the beach after. But like,
right.
you know, it's like,
Yes.
it's. But that's the thing. Like through every experience, whether at the time I'm like, it's painful, but I learned something
We
through
grow
it all.
through those experiences.
Yeah, and that's and my love for tennis is stronger now than it was like 20 years ago, because I think partially like it was tested. Like every challenge I face kind of tests. We talk about resiliency, but it tested my love for like, why am I in this? And it's always because I love the game and I love people.
Yeah.
I love helping people.
yeah.
Like I make that face because like Sam, that's for you. Like, she's like, what?
Yeah. But you know, that resonates with me so much as well, because it's ultimately, you know, when we're going through challenging times, we feel the most alive. And I've experienced that in my life. When you're dealing with challenges, we feel alive, we feel, you know, insecure, we feel like we need to push ourselves out of our, you know, comfort zone, and that's where also growth happens.
Yeah.